Junior Achievement of New York is fortunate to have earned the support of many local elected officials who value the importance of having an economically empowered citizenry. We are honored to welcome New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins in conversation with two local students from Lincoln High School in Yonkers to talk about the JA student experience. A trailblazer in local and state government and a champion for progressive action, she became the first woman and African-American woman to lead a New York State legislative conference in 2012. In 2019, Majority Leader Stewart-Cousins shattered the glass ceiling when her peers elected her as temporary president and majority leader of the state Senate. Now let's join Leader Stewart-Cousins, Marjorie, and Barron in their conversation.
I am Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins. I am the majority leader of the New York State Senate, and I am just so happy to be joined by two wonderful young people, junior achievement ambassadors, and we're just going to have a little chat and talk about how they see the world, how junior achievement has influenced them, and I think they're going to have some questions for me as well. So I want to introduce my guests, Barron and Marjorie, and I guess maybe we'll let ladies go first. Marjorie, tell me a little about yourself.
Good afternoon. Nice meeting you. I'm a senior in Lincoln High School, student ambassador. I've participated in, 3 programs: High School Heroes, the PepsiCo job shadowing, and there was Junior Achievement Finance Park. I'm the first person to go to college in my family, so that's one of my main goals for this year, to get in a good college and, pursue my career in forensic psychology.
Well, I am sure that your family is totally excited for your future. I actually was the first one in my family to go to college as well, so I know the feeling. And I know that you're making them proud every day. And the fact that you're involved in such a great program must underscore for them the potential that you have. So I'm going to get back to you in a moment. But I first, before we talk a little more, I wanted to introduce everyone to Barron. And Barron, tell me a little about yourself.
Good evening, Senator. My name is Barron. I go to Lincoln High School like Marjorie. So a little bit about myself. I competed in this, participated in the same programs that Marjorie did. So Finance Park, PepsiCo, and the teaching, I forgot what it was, the Junior Achievement teaching thing. I actually taught at School 21, which is in your district. So that was a nice experience. My dad, he ended up going to vocational school for like 2 years. So I'm not going to technically be the first one to go to college, but I am going to be the first one to go to a 4-year college, hopefully. I really want to pursue a major in like political science and end up maybe being where you are one day. Like that's why I've been so excited about this meeting, because I really do want to hear from you, because I know how accomplished you are and how you came from the same city I did. It's made me really excited just to be able to talk to you. So yeah, that's really what I've been looking forward to with this meeting, and I just hope you get to know each other really well.
Well, I'm sure we will, Barron, because not only are we in the same city, although I didn't grow up in Yonkers, I grew up in New York City. I moved to Yonkers as an adult, but one of the things that I did is I taught in Lincoln High School. I don't know if you and Marjorie know that, but I had the opportunity to be a teacher before I got into my political life. So it just goes to show you never know where you're going to end up. And you, like Marjorie, I'm sure, make your family proud every single day. And I'm excited to talk to you, too. But now, both of you, and I guess you can both answer this, because I guess you've been involved with junior achievement for a while. So how long have you been involved, Barron? And then maybe, Marjorie, you could tell me how long you've been involved.
So since freshman year, I've been in the Academy of Finance, which is Lincoln High School directly linked to junior achievement. So I've been involved since freshman year. I didn't know it at first. I only found out like sophomore year I was involved with it. But for the most part, I've been involved since freshman year.
And Marjorie, how about you? I think I saw that you were involved like since you were in the second grade. Is that true?
Yeah, like as far as I can remember, second grade. But I know in my school, my elementary school is Hostos and Jaime Maria de Hostos. They've always been in partnership with Junior Achievement, because I remember, being really little and then, having these volunteers come, and it would always be exciting to see them come to our school, and, they would teach us about budgeting and about money. And even though it may seem like, oh, it's not as interesting, but they would incorporate like, activities that would make it interesting. And like, I remember my first time, I made like a little house, and it was like a bank. It was like a piggy bank. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I get to keep this. And it was like my first memory of Junior Achievement. And then once I came to like my ninth grade, and then I heard that, Lincoln High School is incorporated with Junior Achievement, I was like, oh wow, it brings back so much memories.
Oh, wonderful. I am really, again, so impressed by both of you. Now, do you all hang out with other kids who are in the program, or are you just kind of stars on your own doing things that maybe the other kids don't realize are valuable yet? Do you know a lot of people who are in the program with you?
Yeah, because my entire finance class are in the program. They're not ambassadors like me and Marjorie are, but I do, like, they still do participate in the same programs we do. So yeah, I do hang out with a lot of other people as well who are in the program.
And Marjorie, you too have positive people who are in the program and supporting you and your dreams.
Yeah, I've actually told my best friend, he used to be in the academy, so I told him about what's been going on throughout the whole month, because before this it was like a pre-interview, and I remember telling him I was so excited, and he was like really happy for me too.
Okay, so the last thing I want to ask you is, how did you become ambassadors? How does this happen?
So our finance teacher, Mr. Mulqueen, he I think told us about the Student of the Year interviews and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I guess I could try out for that. I never really, at first I was taking that seriously, but then when I tried out for it, I went through it. I didn't end up winning Student of the Year, but I did get selected as the Junior Achievement Student Ambassador. So that's how I got selected for it.
Yeah, same thing. I was like really thinking about my future, so I was like, let me actually take my time and then apply to this. And then I actually did, but I didn't also get the Student of the Year. But I did become an ambassador, and it's a really cool experience.
Well, again, both of you are so impressive because you both had enough confidence in yourself to get to go after your dreams, to be Student of the Year. You're all Student of the Year in my book, and look what happened. You wound up being an ambassador. I'm sure you'll have many great experiences as ambassadors. You're role models for so many of your peers, and I'm really very impressed to spend some time with both of you. And again, you had the courage to go after your dream and the confidence, and that is probably about half of what you need to be successful. So I'm sure you're going to be great successes. I can't wait to see how life is going to, turn out for you. So you have some questions for me?
Yeah, you mentioned you were a teacher at Lincoln High School, and like I didn't know that before I came in here. So like, could you I don't know, explain that?
Well, I can. I never thought that I would ever be in politics. This was not something when I was growing up, because I grew up in the 60s, and there just really weren't a lot of role models of women, people of color who were doing too much. I mean, unfortunately, it was very, very limited. So for most of, my generation, women, they would be either in the secretarial world, or they'd be teachers, or they would be nurses. It was very, very limited. I always wanted to be a journalist, which is why I'm also happy to have this kind of back and forth. And I actually wound up being a journalist for a while I went to college at night. I had a very interesting journey in my life. And I was, married and had kids and going to school at night. And I took up journalism. And then I got a job with Gannett, and it was great. But I was out weekends and evenings, and it was hard juggling family life when you're out on, reporting on stories. So I had someone very close to me suggest that I try teaching, and it actually made sense. And I applied to Yonkers, but I still had to work on my teaching credentials. So I applied to Yonkers, and I first started as a substitute teacher, and then I clicked with the kids, and then I became a permanent substitute. And then when a teacher left to go on maternity leave, I took over their class and wound up being a high school teacher and enjoying it. And then, of course, I went back and got my teaching credentials and was planning to stay in the teaching profession forever. And I wound up in politics. But Lincoln, I loved, and I come back. I used to come back quite often during special occasions, Black History Month, and just to continue to encourage young people and let them know the sky is the limit if they keep their education at the forefront and believe in themselves. And so you two are perfect examples of that.
I have a question. Public service wasn't your first choice, but like, how did that inspire you to become someone who, is about public service?
I guess I always wanted to be helpful. I always knew that I would be doing something that would contribute. So I did not realize, however, that this would be the path that I took. But when I moved to Yonkers, it was, I'd say, the first 4 or 5 years before I realized that there was a big issue in Yonkers, that Yonkers was being sued for being segregated, and there was a big division going on in the city. So when the judge said that Yonkers had to integrate or desegregate, there was a huge fight. There was a campaign for mayor. There were 3 people who were running for mayor. 2 people were not wanting to comply with the judge's order to desegregate the city, and 1 mayor was planning to comply to desegregate the city. And again, I'm a parent. My husband and I, this time we had 3 kids, and we wanted to make sure, because I went to public school, the kids were going to public schools, and the public schools were at the heart of this desegregation case. Kids would be bused to other schools and so on. And the back and forth in the city was very disturbing. And I wanted to be in a place where everybody had an opportunity and people would be able to go to school together and to live wherever they wanted to, etc. So I volunteered for the mayor, Mayor Zaleski, who said that he would really work to integrate the city and the schools. And he won. And he asked me to join his administration, and I became the director of community affairs. And it was my job to try and bring the city back together again while giving opportunities to people who had not had opportunities in the city. And that began my path of first appointed service, and then I ran for election in 1995 for the county legislature, and now I'm a senator. So it was a path that I had not seen coming, but one that I thoroughly enjoy, because I know that government can make a difference in people's lives. They can create barriers, they can remove barriers. It all depends on who's in government, and I want to be one of those people to remove barriers so that people like you and Barron can really achieve their goals and their dreams, as long as they're willing to work for them.
Wow, that's a big story.
It's a big story.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot to comment on there, But wow, so like you became senator, right? Like, how was that process for you? Like, how did you like sort of make up your mind? How did you like run for it? Like, how was that entire thing?
Well, again, as I said, I'd been a county legislator, and I was able to do some wonderful things. I was the author of human rights laws, the Human Rights Commission that exists now. And I did a lot of different things that I thought were extremely important. But one of the things that I couldn't do much about was education, because the county does not really have a lot to do with public education. It's funded through the local government, through the property taxes, it's funded through the state, and it's funded through the federal government. And again, as I said, I am a real supporter of public schools and the potential that everybody is able to get an education through good public schools is really what I'm looking for. And I thought I could be more influential in the education space by going into the state legislature. So I challenged somebody who had been the senator for 28 years or something like that. And I decided I was going to run. The first time I ran, I lost by 18 votes. And I found out that I lost in February of 2005 because it was a very long, drawn-out election, a lot of court cases. And so then ultimately, when I lost, I went back to being a county legislator, and then I ran again 2 years later, and I won by over 1,800 votes. So that's what happened, and that's why elections matter, and that's why every vote really does count. And I think you're probably watching it play out on a national level as well. People have to understand, as I said, government does what it does. It's who's sitting in the various seats, whether it's local government, state government, or federal government, that really impacts all of us, because people bring their ideas and they bring policy. And if you can get enough people to believe in your idea or your policy, you can change the way the world is for countless numbers of people.
I have one more question. What advice would you give to younger people if they want to have a career or have an interest in the career of public service?
For me, the advice that I would give to young people, first of all, are to make sure that they stay positive and that they look at other young people who are doing things such as Marjorie and Barron and follow that lead. Because as a young person, you can do extraordinary things. You can make a difference. So many of the things that I've done as the leader of the Senate, and I don't know that I mentioned that, but I am the leader of the Senate in New York. The reality is that a lot of the things, whether it's gun safety issues, whether it's environmental issues, whether it's criminal justice reform, a lot of the things that we've done have been influenced and motivated by the participation of youthful voices. When I first ran, the people who believed most in me were the people who didn't already decide I couldn't win. They were young people who were galvanized and did a lot of great work. So don't underestimate your power. Get a great education. Surround yourself with positive people. Believe in yourself. And like Marjorie and Barron, when an opportunity comes that you think you can really take advantage of, don't be afraid to try. You never know. You'll wind up in great places. And so, in closing, it's just been wonderful to meet you both. As I said, I am always excited to see smart, young, gifted people trying different things. And if I could be of support in any way, I certainly want to. But I think part of the big support that I could get is to continue to support junior achievement, because it just makes a difference in so many young people's lives.
Thank you, Marjorie, Barron, and Leader Stewart-Cousins for taking part in that great conversation. Now, we turn our attention to celebrating our wonderful Volunteers of the Year. This year, we are proud to recognize a longtime partner of junior achievement. Sterling National Bank has been dedicated to JA's mission to empower young people, and its employees have volunteered hundreds of hours in the classroom. When the global pandemic closed schools and businesses, Sterling National Bank was one of our first corporate partners to step up and take on our new virtual volunteering experience. We are so grateful for the dedication this group has shown during this challenging time. I am proud to recognize this group of Sterling National Bank volunteers as our 2020 Volunteers of the Year. Congratulations, Rachel Brown, Cara Manners, Vlad Ortega, Karina Saltman, Kathleen Stanley, Linda Benowitz, and Lily DeBua. Thank you so much for your dedication to Junior Achievement of New York. With us this evening is Kathleen Stanley, who will accept the award on behalf of the group.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so proud and humbled to be accepting this award on behalf of all of our colleagues who volunteered this year. 2020 is definitely not one any of us expected. It has been a very challenging year for all, but when you look at what Junior Achievement has continued to accomplish, it is absolutely amazing. JA's purpose of inspiring young people to succeed in a global economy was not shaken. It might have taken on a bit of a different look, but they did not miss a beat. You were able to pivot as an organization and turn fundraising events that would normally be in person to unique virtual events that enabled people to attend from their homes but participate as teams with their friends, family, and colleagues. You continue to engage students, connecting them virtually and providing critically needed programs to help them navigate their new world. Our colleagues were so impressed with how prepared both JA and the students were during our virtual volunteer sessions. With all of us being remote, it provided a relaxed environment and, quite frankly, put us all on the same digital playing field. Students were actually helping some of our colleagues navigate the nuances of Zoom. Now more than ever, young people need to envision a future that they can shape and look forward to. Junior Achievement provides the bank and our colleagues with an opportunity to make a real impact by making financial literacy not only real, but also fun and relevant. At Sterling, we place great importance on our responsibility to the communities we serve. Our colleagues are passionate about the organizations we partner with and are always ready to volunteer. Their service is a shining example of their continued commitment to go above and beyond. I'd like to thank Joe and his leadership team at JA, the education staff, Catherine and Dawn. You always make it easy for us to participate, and I truly believe we get just as much or more out of this than the students. I'd also like to thank Mike Finn, board member and chief risk officer at Sterling, for his dedication to JA and for instilling in his colleagues his passion of giving back. And a special thank you goes to Cara Manners, our CRA Community Engagement Officer, who diligently works to coordinate and engage with our colleagues for all of our volunteer events. We would not be able to do what we do without you. No one knows what tomorrow will hold, but Junior Achievement helps prepare students for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you all. Stay safe, be well, and have a very happy holiday.
For our next award, we are pleased to recognize Eileen Schultes as our Teacher of the Year. Good teachers do more than just teach. They serve as role models who inspire students to dream big and reach their full potential. This year, with hybrid and remote learning taking center stage, teachers like Eileen have gone the extra mile time and again to help make learning possible. Her award will be presented by Linda Fury, a member of our Long Island team, and Melissa Bell, a student at Freeport High School and a Junior Achievement of New York student ambassador.
Good evening. I'm Linda Fury from Junior Achievement of New York, and I'm delighted to introduce, along with one of our student ambassadors, our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Eileen Schultes. Eileen is an exemplary teacher and a true champion of JA programs at Freeport High School on Long Island and throughout her community. She goes above and beyond to bring JA programs to her school and her district. With limited resources, she made High School Heroes available to her students as an extracurricular activity, making a positive impact on countless students, including Melissa. She helped the Long Island JA program bring job shadow opportunities to her students, giving them access to professionals from J.P. Morgan Chase who helped students think broadly about college and career opportunities. She truly has the best interest of her students in mind and is passionate about exposing them to opportunities that will positively impact their future education and careers. Eileen, thank you for encouraging your students at Freeport High School to participate in High School Heroes, Job Shadows, Finance Park, and many more. Thank you for the support you have provided other educators throughout Long Island as you encourage them to bring JA to their schools. And above all, thank you for all you have done to make JA programs successful in your community. It's a true pleasure to work with you, and I look forward to continuing our partnership. Before Eileen accepts her award, one of her students, one of our JA student ambassadors, would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Linda. Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa Bell. I am a senior at Freeport High School as well as a Junior Achievement Student Ambassador. In 2015, I moved with my parents to Long Island from Scotland. Moving's difficult, but moving to a different country and a new school, completely different. I didn't fit in, so to make friends, I was encouraged to join an out-of-school bowling league. When I went to the high school, I had no reservations about joining the school team, which is where I met Mrs. Schultes, as she is the coach for the school team. After the season was finished, she encouraged me to get involved in many extracurriculars, some of which include junior achievement programs. All of the programs that I've been a part of have vastly built my confidence, but mostly my confidence in public speaking, which would not have been possible without the encouragement of Mrs. Schultes, who encouraged me to get involved. I remember calling her after I got an email saying that I was going to be an ambassador, and she said that she would have been proud no matter the outcome because I had done the difficult thing and put myself out there. She is a confidant, not just for me, not just for the kids at school, but for everyone in the building and our community. If I was to tell you about every little thing she did in one day, we would be here forever. So instead, all I will say is congratulations, and no one deserves it more than you.
Thank you, Linda, and to the entire Junior Achievement team for your support. Your tireless efforts pave the way for students of all ages to have wonderful, relevant experiences that will carry beyond school and into their careers. And thank you, Melissa. I appreciate your kind words and couldn't be prouder of you. I wish those here tonight could experience the joy of being part of your journey. In a way, many of you are. When you support junior achievement, you are part of the journey of each and every student. I'm not an inside the proverbial box type of person. Junior achievement allows teachers like me to take students outside the box of traditional education models. We have all been forced outside the box this year. While there are some that are ravaged with boredom, I can assure you that that is not the case for the teachers and the junior achievement team who work together planning for our new world. Junior achievement provides students opportunities that they would not otherwise have. The Junior Achievement Job Shadow Day allows students to spend the day in a professional environment, which in many cases is very different than any workplace they have ever seen. Last year, we met a Freeport High School graduate on our Job Shadow Day at Chase. Talk about connecting the dots. Thanks, Christina, for being a wonderful host. I look forward to the day that my students can again visit Finance Park and interact with Kristen, Linda, Tina, and Dawn from JA Long Island. It's always a great experience, especially those moments when students realize it's expensive to be responsible for yourself and possibly a family. Whether it's budgeting skills from Finance Park or workplace protocols and expectations from the Job Shadow experience, students are learning skills from engaging and well-planned materials provided through JA supporters at no cost. But there is no better experience than seeing junior achievement resources come full circle. When high school students teach age-appropriate financial lessons to elementary school students, they are truly high school heroes. But there is no better experience than seeing junior achievement resources come full circle. When high school students teach age-appropriate financial lessons to elementary school students, they are truly high school heroes. The preparation, presentation, and public speaking skills required for a successful High School Heroes event will transfer throughout many aspects of the student's professional and personal life. I look forward to continue bringing junior achievement to my students, for now, remotely, and as soon as possible, in person. Thank you again, Linda, Melissa, and all my students, and the Junior Achievement of New York team. I am truly honored to be named 2020 Teacher of the Year.
Principals play a big part in our work. Without the active support of administrative leaders in schools, we would not be nearly as successful delivering JA programs year in and year out. This year, we are pleased to present our Principal of the Year Award to Adrian Ubertini of PS 90, the Horace Mann School in Queens. Her award will be presented by JA champion and New York State Senator Joseph Addabbo Jr.
Hi, I'm State Senator Joe Addabbo. Principal Ubertini has been a principal for PS 90 for nearly 20 years. Our commitment to provide each and every student the opportunity to maximize their educational potential is something that is to be commended and something that I admire. Since 2013, Principal Ubertini has been implementing the Junior Achievements Program in her school for grades K through 5. Partnering corporate volunteers and students, they are showing the importance of financial decisions and savings. Principal Ubertini understands the benefits of the Junior Achievements Program by her willingness to welcome high school heroes, such as those students from Richmond Hill High School, to work with her students on the program. Principal Ubertini is a caring, understanding, and professional individual. That is why it is my honor to present to her the Junior Achievements of New York 2020 Principal of the Year Award. Congratulations, Principal Adrian Ubertini. Congratulations.
Hello and good evening. I'd like to thank Junior Achievement of New York for the honor, and I'd also like to thank Senator Addabbo for such kind words and support to the PS 90 school. As the principal of PS 90, I have been proud to host the Junior Achievement for the past 7 years. To witness young high school students interact with the children of PS 90 is a beautiful sight and a real inspiration for our local community. The Junior Achievement Program has given my student body the opportunity to explore new topics and to see their brothers and sisters in the role of a leader and a teacher. The excitement throughout the school during the visit from the Junior Achievers was amazing to experience. Seeing the high school students dressed for success and willing to take on the task of educating youngsters about money, jobs, business, and decision-making skills, coupled with the excitement in my students' eyes to see and to soak in this knowledge, is priceless. The children of PS 90 were given the gift of Junior Achievement Program, and I am proud to say that the curriculum is an engaging, educational, and centered on life skills. PS 90 students learn personal finance skills from corporate volunteers and local high school students. The materials given to the children give them an opportunity to think about and talk about topics and complete a fun learning assignment. This builds community and creates mentorship opportunities between the elementary school students, corporate volunteers, and Richmond Hill High School students. This is an opportunity they would not have had without Junior Achievement Program. It is an honor to be recognized as Principal of the Year. Thank you for all your time today and your support.
Now I am pleased to present the Junior Achievement of New York 2020 Student of the Year Award. Tonight, we're honoring a student who is an absolute joy and inspiration to be around. She is a dedicated student who really shines in competitive environments. And this comes as no surprise considering she has been a competitive gymnast since she was a child. Aya is a senior at the Academy of Finance and Enterprise High School in Long Island City, Queens. She will be the first generation in her family to attend college in the United States. In recognition of her achievements, Aya will receive a $10,000 scholarship to apply to her college tuition, generously sponsored by the Manuel and Claire Barron Education Fund, for which we are extremely grateful. Congratulations, Aya. We can't wait to see what great things await you in what we know will be a bright future tomorrow.
The Student of the Year process is broken down into 4 parts. There's the written application, a phone interview, and then a group interview with JA staff, and finally a presentation to our board members. And I met Aya during the phone interview stage, and immediately I could hear how humble she was over the phone, and just she had a lot of positive energy, a lot of positive vibes, and I can hear her smiling through the phone.
Aya is an absolute dream to work with, as from a teacher to a student. I mean, most teachers are always reflective upon the students that we have, but Aya is that one student that we all feel lucky to have in our class. She works unbelievably hard. She always puts forth her best effort, and the best thing from our perspective is her willingness to actually help out others.
She also is very much involved with the community and helping the community as well as the students in school, starting a yoga club in school to be able to help her peers in a positive way, relieve stress, and also help students, or young people in the community with gymnastics. So sharing her strengths, her skills, her interests in order to help others and motivate others is such a strength that I see in her.
Aya's participated in many of our programs, JA Finance Park, the Business Plan Competition, and High School Heroes, and she really takes to heart what the volunteers are teaching her and connecting that with where she wants to be in the future.
She's someone who doesn't just attend a class or participate in an activity or attend a junior achievement event just to say she did it and just to acquire the experience, but she actually takes everything she learns and she soaks it up and she applies it to her life, to her ability to perform, her self-confidence, her presentation skills, the way she interacts with others.
She always takes that initiative, that extra step to make sure that everything is done to the best of her ability and beyond. I think it's that attentiveness to detail and also that drive that she has. I know gymnastics was one of the things that she had spoken about before, and that I think is her foundation of that determination and that discipline. And I can see that in anything that she does.
Aya is able to adapt to any situation you put her in. And she doesn't complain. She'll just sit down and very calmly figure out, okay, this is where I am now, this is where I want to be, and then she'll formulate a plan on how to do it. And if there's people with her, she's going to formulate a plan for them too, to get them to where they have to go as well. Like, she definitely would, I mean, it sounds cliched, but she's definitely not leaving anybody behind.
Any competitions, any business competitions, she always does her research and makes sure that she's ready for what lies ahead. And she's not afraid of any challenge.
In the final stage of the competition, Aya had to present to our board members over a video call, and I remember every single one of our board members being really impressed with the way she presented herself, the impact that JA programs had on her, and all the future plans that she had for herself. We were all really excited about her representing JA. We all thought that she was a great representative of what our programs stood for and what we hope to do with students. And I just remember everyone being really excited, really loved meeting her, and feeling like we found the one.
Going through this process for you to become Student of the Year for Junior Achievement, we went through, I remember the two of us going through her presentation and going over how the interview would go. And we'd have a rehearsal session, and it was supposed to last 20 minutes, and it would last an hour and a half. And then it would end, and then sure enough, I would get a text like 20 minutes later, but hey, Mr. C, how about this? Can we do something like this? And there is just nobody who's ever going to outwork you. And I think that is something that's going to take you so far. And I am just so immensely proud of the student you are and the person that you have become.
Aya. As someone who comes from a very similar background to you, I want to say how impressed I am by everything that you've accomplished and how much I look up to you. I am really proud of everything that you have done with JA and beyond, and I look forward to hearing more about your future.
It's just been so overwhelming to see such a student, who's so eager and so vibrant in everything that she does. And I really just, love that about you and the way that you are such a positive impact on everyone around you. Thank you.
I'm just really so proud of everything that Aya has accomplished, and I know that there's so much that she's going to be able to do in life. She has a great foundation. I'm so proud of her, and so we were so happy when she received this honor. And again, thank you for everything that you do, Aya, and congratulations on this honor.
Good evening. I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to share my journey virtually with you. Even though we're separated by a physical distance, we are connected through a shared goal and unified effort. As we're passing through these unprecedented times, I want to remind you that we're getting through this together. Today, it's my privilege to represent the JA Student of the Year of New York 2020, and I can feel your presence and almost hear your woohoos and clapping in my room. Thank you for making this moment of my life so memorable. I'm grateful that despite the COVID crisis, I'm able to speak to you today, thanks to Junior Achievement and all the efforts combined to make this event possible. I've had to take many decisions in my life, but there is one decision that changed my journey completely. When I purchased my ticket, all my childhood memories, laughs, and memorable moments took a plane and traveled across the ocean from Egypt to New York. And no, I wasn't still learning my first steps or speaking my first words. I was 12 years old, a girl who already constructed her path with family memories and crazy days with cousins and grandparents, with a school community and a team that was all a home to me. In New York, it was something new. I had to adapt to a new culture, new home, new friends, new school, new teammates. I was filled with hopes and dreams for what I wanted to accomplish, yet overwhelmed with my language barrier and the struggles of a first-generation immigrant. I was lucky enough to have my parents as my support system to help me push through and persevere, and I'm grateful for the sacrifices my parents made to shape my journey into achieving the American dream. My parents drove me to my dreaming cliff of pursuing higher education, my dreaming cliff of always challenging myself, my dreaming cliff of always trying to find a career path that combines my passions. But it was Junior Achievement that took my hands and helped me cross the bridge from dreaming to achieving. JA came at a time when I needed support, when I needed guidance, when I needed someone to show me how to unlock my potential. JA was more than just an extracurricular. It opened up a door, an opportunity that I was able to just walk right through. It transitioned me from dreaming about who I want to become to actually putting me on the road. It constructed a supporting bridge filled with mentorship and guidance that transferred me from a dream to a reality, really giving me the confidence that I'm capable of achieving what I've always wanted. From my school community being the vessel that connected me and made me aware of all of the JA opportunities, to my parents, to Junior Achievement, every support system was a pillar into shaping who I am now. This story, this journey, is embedded all around New York City. Thousands of students are navigating these unknown waters. And I want to tell you that you're not the only one. Because I've come face to face with these adversities, I want you to know that anything is possible. Take your dreams as far as your imagination can go, because with hard work, dedication, and determination, the only limit is the sky. And I want you to know that if you're watching this, you've been blessed with opportunities. Right now, the world needs high school heroes like us. Heroes that would guide future generations. Heroes that would reach back and lend a hand to those who are struggling. Heroes that, with their leadership and distinct passions, make an impact on our community. And heroes that would bring a new meaning to life filled with hope and love. Now is the time we can be the next heroes that are needed to make a change. Thank you.